You do not need a blog, a podcast, or a YouTube channel yet in your brand new business. Today, I'm here to bring you some tough love and maybe an unpopular opinion about how much time and energy you're wasting on resources early on in your entrepreneurial journey. If we haven't met yet, my name is Ryan Dowdy. I am the host of Uncensored Sales TV. I am a sales coach and I help brand new entrepreneurs build the foundation of their six-figure business by mastering your sales conversation and your mindset. If you're here on YouTube, make sure you tap the bell and subscribe so you never miss an episode of Uncensored Sales TV. So let's talk about it. A blog, a YouTube channel, a podcast, all things that you have been told that you need as an entrepreneur. And maybe you've been struggling for a little bit in your business and you haven't really been getting clients and you haven't been able to get into a lot of sales conversations. And what I see people do is step back and they say, maybe I need to start a blog, or maybe I should start with a podcast, or you know what, if I had a YouTube channel, I bet that would help. And while all of those resources are fantastic resources for building relationships with potential clients, unfortunately, they are not resources you should be spending your time on if you are a brand new entrepreneur who is not consistently making money in your business, okay? And let me tell you why, because I know this is an unpopular opinion. I know there's a lot of gurus out there that tell you that this is the way to do it, right? Create your pillar piece of content that you put out every single week and distribute it in all the places and grow an email list. And you have been taught this by probably dozens of different people. And so this is really confusing information for you. But let me tell you why I don't think that you need a blog, a podcast, or a YouTube channel early on in your business. First of all, your business is going to evolve, okay? Right now, you have a business idea, you're excited, but your business is going to evolve. Maybe you're a virtual assistant and you are going to wind up niching down into social media management or Pinterest management or funnel building, right? Maybe you are a health coach and you are going to wind up niching down into helping specifically moms, right? Maybe you're a sleep coach and you're going to wind up working with moms of newborns. Maybe you are a bookkeeper and you are going to wind up eventually niching down into construction companies or whatever that is for you. But if you haven't really decided who your ideal client is and you're not 100% sure what that niche looks like for you, you could potentially waste a ton of time creating content for a niche that is not yours or something that you're going to pivot away from. Tell you a story about my business. I started believing that I was going to do career coaching for women early on in their professional careers, women in their early 20s. And so I created a ton of blog content about, job searching and all these different things. And first of all, I never got a client in that niche. And second of all, I wasted hours agonizing over what to write about and what to do and what to say and how to upload it to my website and the perfect images to use. And frankly, nobody saw it and nobody read it. And I completely pivoted in my business, as you can see, as we're here talking about sales. So it was a huge waste of time and resources and brain space early on in my business when I could have been out networking and talking to people. Okay. The second reason I don't think that you need a blog, a YouTube channel, or a podcast yet is because you don't have an audience. And I say that with as much love as possible. There's nothing wrong with you because you don't have an audience. But when you're brand new to entrepreneurship, you don't have an audience. You don't have people who are going to read those things or watch those things or consume those things. And so when you start early on, that can be really frustrating, right? And I know it because I just told you my story with my blog. And I even went on to produce a podcast for almost an entire year in my business when I didn't have an audience. Nobody was listening to it. Nobody was reading it. Nobody was watching it. And what I was doing was, again, wasting a lot of time, effort, and energy on something that people weren't consuming it. It wasn't getting me clients. It wasn't really moving my business forward in any way. And frankly, it found myself wasting a ton of time and then also spending a lot of my time being super frustrated because it wasn't working, because this magic thing that people told me if I showed up and did it would work wasn't working because I didn't have an audience of people. Frankly, I didn't even know who my audience was yet. And the final reason that you do not need a blog, a podcast, or a YouTube channel is because your number one responsibility as a brand new entrepreneur, as a brand new business owner, is to make money in your business. That is what you should be doing. And these tools, while wonderful assets eventually, as I say here on my YouTube channel, but they're wonderful assets eventually. But early on, it is about networking and connecting and talking to people. People do business with people, right? You want to be someone who's out there shaking hands. You want to be in the direct messages. You want to be on Coffee Connects. You want to be running sales conversations. You want to be going to networking events and actually having conversations with potential clients. That's how you get clients. You do not get clients just by people consuming your information. Yes, it's a fantastic way to build credibility and authority and do some email list building and all of those things. They're wonderful resources. I'm not saying saying that they should never be on your to-do list or on your radar, but when you are brand new to business and you are still struggling to get clients and you're still struggling to find that networking stride, adding in a blog or a podcast or a YouTube channel is frankly just going to be a giant distraction that early on is probably not going to make you enough money. And again, I can speak to this from experience. I started my podcast. I loved my podcast, but we put my podcast on pause for, almost 8 months now, 9 months now, because I wasn't being strategic about it. I wasn't using it in a way that it was an asset for me, and I wasn't using it as a way to really grow my business and my audience effectively. So rather than continuing to spend time and energy of the team who was producing it and of myself and really expecting myself to show up with this incredible content was taking up all this energy, I just let it go. And sometimes I still miss it, and we're bringing it back for sure, but it wasn't an asset that was making me money. And when you're early on in your business, you need to get to that place where you are making money consistently. When you're making some choices about niching down, about who you want to serve, getting really clear in your personal brand and who you want to be and what you stand for as a business owner, that is when it makes a ton of sense to start doubling down on blogs, podcasts, and YouTube channels. So I hope for some of you watching this that I've saved you a ton of hours of time, a lot of money, a lot of brain space and stress and worry about putting out resources that no one is going to, unfortunately, interact with, because I know you're brilliant in what you do, but I really want you focused on the revenue generating activities in your business, which is being out there, talking to people, shaking hands, getting involved in conversation, being of service, answering questions for people, and just really having a lot of fun interacting with potential clients. That is where the money is made as a brand new entrepreneur. I do teach an entire 5-step system called the Uncensored Sales System, where I walk you through how to generate leads, run sales conversations, pitch your services, handle objections, and close and onboard clients. There's a PDF down below. Make sure you click down there, download that PDF. It's going to walk you through the system. No, it does not include a blog, a podcast, or YouTube in your business until you start making consistent 3K, 5K, 8K months. Then we can start talking about leveling up in there. If you're not yet in the Ambitious Women Entrepreneurs Mastering Sales Skills community, come join us over there. Or if Instagram is your jam, we are at Uncensored Sales, and we'll see you in the next video.